Take a deep dive.
Rabbit Hole
Podcast.
Mako, do you recognize the bodies in the water?
I recognize my foot going up your ass.
Uh-oh.
That is a different story.
We said we weren't talking about this, Mako. Remember, what happens off stream stays off stream. Okay.
Well, you know what happens on camera stays on camera as well. Ladies and beans, welcome to the Rabbit Hole Podcast, episode 33. Ready
That's
to
a
roll.
lot of fireball.
Apparently, that's a lot of fireball. Why are we talking about SCBs or SCPs or STDs rather? Today.
Oh, we're not.
Today we're talking about SCPs.
Secure, contain, protect.
Now,
If you already know.
okay, well, you already know.
Secure, contain, probe.
Probe. All right, so you already know the meaning. So, Nero, fill us in. What is an SCP?
So SCPs are beings or entities that are apparently, I mean, at this point, it's kind of like, I guess, kind of like internet folklore, I'd say.
Yeah.
It started as a creepypasta, but at this point it's so huge and like so many people put so much time into it that it just like kind of evolved into internet folklore. But they are beings or entities that need to be contained or monitored because they're either dangerous to themselves, humans, the world, or like.
Well, it's more of like a threat to what, like us, like our normal lives.
So, in this case, would Mothman be a?
Mothman would be an SCP. Yes.
But
Omni-Man is a Keter class.
But what? But listen. Well, here's my theory upon Mothman. All right, Mothman is not here to harm us. He's here to warn us.
Well, either way, he should still be.
He still influences.
Under the SCP Foundation's guidance, he would be contained.
He would be contained.
Wait. Okay. Do you remember the three classes? Because I just remember Keter.
It is
Elucid and safe.
Safe, Euclid, Keter. And then there's XK, and then there's like different like world ending scenarios. Like I think it's XK, ZK, and CK. I can't remember.
Fascinating.
World
And
ending.
There's, the three main classes are safe, Elucid, you said, and
Euclid.
Euclid.
It's pronounced Euclid?
Yeah, it's Euclid.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's Euclid.
Interesting.
Just like how
It's
last night I asked
Safe,
Chiako if he
Euclid,
had a
Keter.
cloaca or vagina.
Oh my god.
Brother, this guy stinks.
Oh, hell yeah. Good mix. Okay. I'm ready to get drunk and talk about things that kill people.
I'm glad you're ready. I'm glad you're ready, Faze. I'm actually really interested in this debate that Russ and Nero's having. Yeah, I'm literally trying to sit here and wrap my brain around what you guys are saying.
Start with the first SCP that was created.
Yeah, we should.
Right.
Start with the first one.
So, the first SCP that apparently I was created is called the Sculptor, and it's SCP-173. And it's
yeah.
All right, wait. Let me stop you there. If it was the first SCP ever created, why isn't it not SCP-001?
Mako.
the first documented.
Shut up,
First
Mako.
documented.
Okay, so originally the SCP Foundation originated on 4chan with the first post of the first post being SCP-173, which is the sculpture, or nicknamed the sculpture.
So pretty much the Sculptor is a Keter, right? I'm pretty sure it is.
It's Keter. Yeah, it's Keter class.
Because
Keter?
I
Keter.
say Keter.
I
I
always
can't
heard
believe
it.
it's not Keter.
I always
my
heard.
God.
I always heard it say Keter.
I've always heard Keter.
Keter.
It's Keter.
It was named
Hey, I
after
know
one.
a boy named
It's named
Skeeter.
after Dr. Keter.
Jesus, don't talk all at the same time, please.
Well, I was making a joke because he said Keter, and I was like, "Yo, I know a boy named Skeeter." So yes,
Either, but I barely know her.
I'll cater to your needs. Call me Timmy. Anyway.
No, Timmy's gonna die. Don't worry. Okay. But yeah. So, it is a key there, and apparently the protocol to contain it is its abilities are if nobody's looking at him, it can just teleport instantly behind you and just snap your neck
I could probably use that. Be honest,
in the
with you.
blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye.
Teleportation. It's super speed,
Rapid movement. Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. It can pretty much just get behind you and just snap your neck in the blink of an eye.
Okay.
So the containment procedure is there's always 3 guards always watching it, and they have to warn each other when they're about to blink, just so not all of them blink at the same time.
That's a cleaning procedure. Because so the way SCP the containment for SCP-173 is that, or at least from what I've heard, and I think it's in the actual document, which I could pull up, but like. So they keep it in a cell, and it anonymously creates like piles of shit, human remains, and like and that like gunk. And then because of that, they have to clean the cell every so often. So they will send in 3 D class. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm sitting here trying to figure out what the fuck FaZe is doing.
Okay. D-class.
Listen, he just kept looking at you, looking at me, looking at you, looking at me, looking at you, looking at me, and I'm like, what the
Everyone's
fuck?
moving. Everyone's moving, and then you're a statue, and you're literally not flinching. You're just going.
I'm listening to
I'm
Rustic.
in desktop.
By the way, D-class, if you guys want to know, they're like inmates, pretty much.
Oh,
They're
okay.
death row inmates that got taken out of this, like, that got basically fucking kidnapped by the SCP Foundation. But because they're death row inmates, nobody really cares.
They're just disposable workers.
Basically.
They're gonna die either way. Who cares?
So they have the people that are sentenced to die to watch the cryptids that could kill them in a minute second.
Yes.
To walk in the cell and clean the shit, human feces, human remains and shit that's in the cell that the sculpture makes. Their job is to do it, and if they do it, they get to live.
Yeah. Basically, we'll explain all like the different types of professions within the Foundation after we explain 173.
How the Foundation kind of came to like be known, quote unquote.
Right now we're going over the beginnings of it. They send in 3D.
Please continue. Like I'm just listening for keys where I can bring in and make a pun or a joke just to have a little laugh and in between all the seriousness.
Mako, I'm gonna give one to you. They're called D-class.
I'm gonna give you my.
I was making that joke. That's why I was staring at you and I was doing this.
Yeah, but you wasn't doing this. You were just showing off your
doing
thigh.
this.
No, you was not.
I was doing shit earlier because he said shit.
All right, but that's basically all the containment procedures for it.
Pretty much. So for when they have to clean, they just send in 3D class, and they have to warn each other when they're gonna blink, because otherwise the statues are gonna go
snap all 3 of them.
Yeah.
He's the best mannequin challenge contender, by the way.
The best mannequin challenge. Like it kind of reminds me of the mannequins from Doctor Who.
All right. Let me
Crying Angel.
Crying Angels. It was the crying. Yeah.
That's kind of what they're based on.
They're similar,
It's basically Crying Angel, but will actually snap your neck.
They're called
Here,
weeping angels. Jesus.
I'll show you how the Zap wears the TARDIS.
Here, okay.
They're called weeping angels. Don't you dare say crying.
All right.
I was a Doctor Who fanatic.
The description of SCP-173 is moved to site 19 in 1993. The origins is as of yet unknown. constructed from concrete and rebar with trace amounts of Krylon brand spray paint. SCP-173 is animate and extremely hostile. The object cannot move while in direct line of sight. Line of sight must not be broken at any time with SCP-173. Personnel assigned to either container are instructed to alert one another for blinking. Object is reported.
Rustic, leave and come back.
Yeah,
Okay.
your internet's going.
Okay.
I thought that was just me, and I was literally just like, well, time to fix something.
And I'll just leave call and just come back. I should fix it.
Totally.
Ah,
We can almost hear a single syllable now.
Okay, let me just-
What?
Try again.
Getting worse.
He sounds like one of those guys on that beatboxing rhythm game.
Rust, I think
Friday Night Funkin'.
Yeah, Friday Night Funkin'.
I think we've lost.
No, just straight up, just like turn off your voice chat. Just disconnect and reconnect. It should fix it.
Wait, disconnect from.
Oh wait. Go back.
Speak.
Hello.
Speak, child.
All right, now continue where you were at.
Okay, so and have to always warn people before blinking because we're
Before
yeah.
blinking. Object is reported to attack by snapping the neck at the base of the skull or by strangulation. In the event of an attack, personnel are to observe Class 4 hazardous objects containment procedures. And then going on to the next paragraph, personnel reported sounds of scraping stone originating from within the container when no one is present inside. This is considered normal, and any change in this behavior should be reported to HMCL supervisor on duty.
yeah, it's made of concrete and rebar, so of course he's gonna
Yeah.
be hearing like stone scraping when nobody's watching it.
The reddish. Okay. The reddish brown substance on the floor.
Atmosphere.
I'm trying to fucking read, you dumb fuck.
I'm trying to fucking fuck you, fuck.
Okay. The reddish brown substance on the floor is a combination of feces and blood. Origins of these materials is unknown. The enclosure must be cleaned on a bi-weekly basis. So that is the original SCP article.
So not on a straight basis, but on a bi-weekly basis. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that joke.
Yeah, me too. Me
Me
too. I just didn't want to fucking bring it up. Shut up. Don't give it to him. Don't give
I
it
think the
to
way
him.
Remori said it and then just did. It speaks to me.
It speaks to me. But all right, so okay, so you have the inmates that's watching over this thing. So what, like, no one? Where is it being held at right now?
The SCP Foundation is all we know.
SCP Foundation.
Okay, so
Okay,
the SCP Foundation.
Area 51.
Basically. So the SCP Foundation has a number of sites all around the world.
Okay.
This specific one is held at Site 19.
So
Just somewhere.
just somewhere over the rainbow. All right.
It actually says where these sites are.
I'm now invested into seeing. I want to know more.
Okay,
So like,
so just ask questions and
yeah,
Wait,
like
So
what basically defines an SCP?
an SCP is defined as an anonymous entity or object.
Well, now I'm confused on how this object of rebar and concrete is able to snap the necks of human beings.
Mako,
That is why it's in the SCP.
that's why it's an SCP in the fucking first place. We do not understand
What
it.
is this
Therefore,
technology?
It needs to be contained.
Mako, it's an anomaly. It's an anomalous object. Anomaly.
A ghost orb?
Therefore, we can't.
It means
explain it.
anomaly means you can't explain it.
Ghost orb.
Ghost orb.
Perfect example.
Orbs.
So
If you want to know how far SCPs go, look up Tar Baby. Thank me later.
Oh
So
man.
basically, SCPs range anywhere from a toaster that makes you think it's a toaster, or makes you think that you are a toaster.
I'll shit
To
out bread. Fuck yeah.
I don't
to
want your low space.
beings that literally cannot exist in this reality and threaten the reality of
Destroy existence itself.
Which is
Yes.
what a lot of Euclids are.
Which is called. Well, I mean, the
Well,
one I
no,
was
those are
referencing
called
is called the
K.
Scarlet King.
So the plot
Yeah.
for the Matrix?
not really.
Euclids make you
there's
question reality.
There's a safe
You
one
know-
that's the toaster that makes you think you're a toaster, and you have the one that like are the freaking
Scarlet King.
world ending, the Scarlet King, that is like the world ending being. Like his main goal is to destroy existence itself because existence is pain for him.
Yo,
So-
I sympathize.
Existence
That's
is
my
pain.
SCP.
That's
to
what you're
me.
taking from that.
That's mine.
Existence is pain. God damn it.
Start an emo band, SCP. I got you back.
Here.
A fucking band called Scarlet King.
Oh, there's also Thaumiel. I forgot.
Dude, that
about
would be a
Thaumiel.
perfect name.
I'm pretty sure it already exists.
I am too.
It's a Swedish rock band. I think. I'm not
I
100% sure.
forgot about Thaumiel class as well. But
Charlotte
okay.
Jet
Oh,
Saviors
yeah.
one, right?
What?
Yeah, thumbnails are like
Alright,
the,
well,
the good ones. I
Here,
guess.
let me. Okay, here. I will go into. I pulled up a website. I can explain each class in.
You can explain if we can understand you through your robot.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
fuck you too.
In post, I'm going to put dial-up
Subtitles?
sounds. No, dial-up sounds.
No.
Did you know he's
am
an
I-
SCP?
Do I still sound like a fucking like? Do I still
Yeah.
sound like a robot?
comes and goes.
It comes and
Anymore.
goes. Are you downloading
no,
anything right now?
Wait,
or-
wait, Mako,
No.
Mako, if you could, you know what you should do? Every time his mic just fucks up, you just like put like the blur glitchy animation on him.
No,
Just do that and then have that.
No, I'll just put the Google loading screen or like the YouTube loading thing over top his face.
Windows error 100.
Yeah, to get
The buffering symbol.
the buffering symbol. Yeah.
Who's next?
Like, okay, so like, if that's the case, if it's something that can make you think that you're a toaster, or is a literal
No.
threat to humankind, then you know what? I should be an SCP.
No, because
No,
you are a being.
You shouldn't, because
You're
you are
not-
a normal fucking person.
I
You
might
are
be a
not a-
normal person, but I have an abnormally large penis. So you know,
That is very false.
So your dick's an SCP.
We know your wife, buddy.
Secure container.
We know your wife, buddy.
it has to be contained. This motherfucker's starting to bite.
It's a new type of SCP. It's the sexually controlled protocol.
No, that was just
Rustic, what is the?
That's a joke that's been just
Okay,
stewing up there for a little bit.
Sexually
Sorry.
contained penis.
so
Perfect.
mother. All right, so going into the specific classes of SCP, first we have safe, which is safe,
Safe.
which
Just let them be.
it's basically it's really easy to contain. You literally you can just shove it in like a drawer, and it'll.
And most of
basically
which are
catch
objects.
contain. Yeah, most of them are objects, and you just put them in like a fucking drawer and just don't let anybody touch them. The next
Unlikely
class
to kill
up,
you.
yeah, the next class up is Euclid class. There
Yay.
are anomalies which are more like they require more resources to contain, and they can't be completely understood.
Yeah, most
also,
of them make you question stuff.
yeah. Also,
No.
containment is like it's more like unpredictable. Like you
I mean,
can't
it's-
like
Mainly, it's like it's kind of safe, like a being. It's like alive, mainly.
it's safe, but like it's unpredictable to like
Yeah, to a point.
Yeah.
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 The human consciousness.
Yeah. Basically, if you have heard of, fuck, which one's the Plague Doctor again?
I mean, I have a Euclid. Well, he's Keter.
Oh yeah, he is Keter. Yeah.
He kills things.
Like
He's
a Euclid. Okay, so Euclid is like the fucking the weird eyeballs thing that makes you only like you can't watch away from them.
Yeah.
I forgot which
They make
one
you.
that is.
They basically make you question something, cause you to go insane. Some of them are
yeah,
just
so,
like if you pester them too long, they'll kill you. Not all Euclids are like unlethal though.
Okay, wait, no, wait. Actually, the best
173
Euclid.
is also
The best Euclid is
He's a Keter.
the 999. The freaking
No, he's
slime.
listed as Euclid.
Yeah,
Oh, on
no,
the site it shows Keter for him.
Well, basically, it just refers to SCPs that require more resources to contain, or containment isn't like completely reliable.
I feel
And
like
you'll see why when I explain mine.
I feel like every 5 episodes we should come back to SCPs.
Bro,
That'd be fun.
We could probably do SCP's episode every fucking week for probably a couple years.
Yeah, they're
We gotta
become
mix
an
it up
SCP
now,
channel.
guys. We gotta go back. We got like deep dives, not that
This
deep of
is-
a dive.
This is more like just an introduction to the SCP universe
Okay,
to
wait.
our viewers.
But
Both of mine makes you
after
want to take a
Euclid's,
deep dive off a cliff.
It's Keitha, right?
What?
After
Shut
Euclid's
up, Face.
Keitha.
I cannot fucking hear you because Mock is
said-
being loud as shit.
I said after Euclid's, it's
Turn it
Keither.
down.
Yes, after Euclid, it's Keter class.
Pretty much.
They
Can
these
kill
refer,
you.
yeah, these
kill
refer
your
to
ass.
anomalies. Okay, wait.
Aggressive.
Yeah, they're exceedingly difficult to contain or reliably contain. They're mainly like expensive and like really complex to contain. For instance, which one was Old Man? I can't remember all the numbers.
073, I
No.
think. 07. 07. Wait,
0173, I think.
No. The
No.
0173 is the Plague Doctor. It's a
whoops.
079, I think. It's the old man. And it
Yeah.
pretty much just corrodes everything it touches.
He's
So
scary as
basically-
shit.
And the way that the SCP contains him is in like several like lead boxes, because he cannot like go through lead, or I forget what metal it is, but I think it's lead.
No, I think it's lead, and lead takes the longest to corrode. So when they see that like his cells kind of getting corroded, they just like put a new
Yeah.
thing next to it.
Yeah, and the only way to contain him is literally to get him to follow somebody else in there, kill them, and then you shut the door.
Yeah.
It's like, oh. So every time you want to contain him, you gotta kill somebody.
Yep, get a D class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what
Alright,
D class
then-
is for.
And then the next main class, because like I'm not gonna get into all like the sub like secondary.
There's a
classes.
ton of secondary classes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get the next one are Thaumiel class. Thaumiel class refer to SCPs that are beneficial to the SCP, like the Foundation as a whole.
They help
Like
you.
SCP-999, that is like a slime, an orange slime that just makes you feel happy and safe, and will always try to protect you.
It is a ball of
Yeah.
serotonin.
There's also
the
these
thick
two
ones
little
that-
twin. There's two twin eyeballs that blink out of a turn, and they literally focus as soon as they see 173. They follow him,
What?
so he can't move. They literally just blink out of turn. I forget what SCP it is. It's inside the game. You have to
Yeah.
get them to follow you, and as soon as SCP-173 shows up, they basically block him and just stare at him and blink out of turn so that he can never move again.
Oh,
Oh,
They just go
clever.
no. Yeah, they go no.
That's how they actually, if I remember right, that's how they got him in containment the first time.
Yeah.
Was that they were able to drag him with having those two things stare at him, and then they shut the door. Because he's made of, like, concrete, so.
right. So as long as no one isn't, as long as no one's looking at him, then he can't move.
Yep. Yeah.
So
So who's first with their fancy ones?
Actually, there's another class. That's the world-ending scenario one.
Yeah,
It's the
there-
X
okay,
class,
I'll go-
pretty much.
I'll go into into those ones. I need to
Just
find it
explain
real
the
quick.
base one, the one that's basically just world dies.
Basically, XK. I think it's XK. Wait, let me.
I think it's just the
I'm
X
shocked
class.
this
X class
bitch that
is
I'm
just-
gonna read isn't an X. Cause sheesh.
Yeah, it's XK class and world of the. Wait. Oh, here's the wiki thing. Oh, okay. So there's 5. Never mind. There's a shit ton. I'm just gonna go into.
So there's Ethereum, and then there's the other class.
Right.
So okay, so no, I think there's just K class. K class refers to the end of the world, basically end of the world, end of reality, end of like basically humankind is fucked.
Existence itself.
Yeah, and they in front of it they will put a letter. For instance, the Scarlet King is considered an XK class world ending scenario, which refers to, let me figure it out because I'm trying to look through this.
XK, I think it's like the end of existence itself.
Yeah.
That's kind of metal though.
You have HK class, it's like the end of humanity.
Like fucking, I mean that whole class just sounds
Over
awesome.
through that. Shut up.
Okay. I found the XK. The primary definition of an XK XK class is most common or broadest meaning of cover of just any like apocalypse, religious apocalypse, humanity destroyed, Earth destroyed, and
Because the
universe
Scarlet King
destroyed,
has its own
etc.
fucking following.
Yeah. Basically, it's just the end, like, it just refers to, like, the end of, like, normalcy. Which is...
2020.
So let's move on from the classification.
pretty
Who wants to start with their things?
2020 should be an SCP.
It's Drum the Scarlet King? Sorry.
Oh, God.
Okay, no. Okay, so who wants to start with their own NCP?
Yeah, who wants to do
Phase?
that?
Start with a classic called the barn door.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so Remori starting first, and then
So
we can
you
just
got
go...
you might want to zip
through
your
the
pants.
table.
You got your barn door open.
Yappa.
Oh no.
He doesn't mind.
The hogs are being set free.
It was a willful act.
This
Zip?
is
Oh,
SCP
no.
Remember, pigs in the bathtub.
This is
fuck up.
SCP-004.
Wait, wasn't it dogs in the
No,
bathtub?
dogs in the bathtub. Yeah.
Okay. 004.
Description is
Fuck
as
am I correcting you?
follows.
Fuck my life.
Sorry. Go ahead.
The description is as follows. SCP-004 consists of an old wooden barn door, which we call SCP-004-1, and a set of 12 rusted keys, SCP-004-2 through to 13. The door itself is the entrance to an old abandoned factory. Now, the chronological history of what happened is that in 1949, a group of 3 juveniles were trespassing on this federal property, and they found the door. According to their testimony, they found a set of rusted keys in an iron lockbox, and determined what door the keys unlocked. The juveniles were taken into custody after they contacted the sheriff when one of their friends, which is known as Case 1, goes missing. Local authorities find... the next day, local authorities find a severed right hand of Case 1 8 kilometers from this door. Other parts of Case 1's body are found scattered as far as 32 kilometers away from the factory. Under interrogation, the apprehended juveniles tell authorities that upon opening the door with one of the keys, Case 1 was torn into several pieces, each of which disappeared. And at this point is when the SCP Foundation takes over the investigation.
Jesus.
Imagine just harmlessly opening a door and all of a sudden your friend just goes...
Honey, I'm home.
It just goes splash.
Incinerated, blood flying everywhere. Like, what the fuck?
up to 32 Ks away. Like,
That is. Could you imagine? It's like, ooh, a door.
And it just
It just,
explode.
he's just gone.
Phase, don't worry, he's a paladin.
Oh my
God.
God damn it. Hey, that's a similar thing that happened to him. He just wasn't in
Yeah.
pieces. He just got eat.
All right. Who else wants to do their second one?
All right. Well, here let's see. I thought of a creepy one, but I want to also, real quick, on a side note, has anyone heard of a divot box?
Oh, what?
A divot?
Divot box.
I've heard the word before,
Yes.
but I don't know
Is
what
it
it is.
is it the one that was like killing people? It's like a creepy.
It can.
Okay, yeah, it's the thing
it's-
that's like joined to like I think it's like Jewish.
Yes.
Yes,
I have heard
yeah.
of it,
I
yes.
know what that is. Yeah.
Is it considered an SCP?
Maybe.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just folklore because it's there's
Because
It's,
if it
it doesn't
is
have to do-
if it is a containable object, I know of a place that is containing said object. It's in Las Vegas.
Intriguing. Of course it's in
Well-
Vegas.
Okay, well then in that case, like okay. If-
Zach Bagan's
what-
Haunted Museum has a divot box.
Okay, so
and he's opened
then-
this divot box.
then I don't think it would be necessarily classified as an SCP.
if anybody can contain them, I don't think there's. I mean, yes, it would be an SCP.
I mean, yeah,
an
it would
be.
SCP,
It's,
just
it literally
not,
is
it would
being
be a
contained
Euclid.
inside of a box.
It's just not classified as one because it's
A real life thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's actually there. It's actually a thing. It actually.
because it's not an SCP because it's not internet folklore. So
All
I
right,
mean,
well-
yes, at this point, yes, it is. So yeah, it would be an SCP.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, in all technicality, but it would get its own entry into the universe.
All right.
It would
so
be
that-
SCP 7190 something.
It's a divot box. Yeah, there we go. But either way, enough with the divot box. Well, we'll have to take a deep dive into divot boxes and folklore on that on a later episode. But right now, I have one. It's another object. I wanted to throw it onto the object because I
It's
have
a
an
pistol.
object
It's a
as
pistol
an
with a
SCP.
fucking dildo attached to it. It's a silencer.
Oh God, no!
No, this
That
object.
adds a whole new joke to the nut shot.
This object actually brings us home because, as you guys know, I was in dramatic arts, and in the dramatic arts, theater acting,
Wait, you're
whatever.
talking about the masks?
The masks.
Oh, we're talking.
Oh God.
SCP-035, referred to as the Possessive Max, is a harmful SCP object that can be found at the SCP containment breach.
Is it a Keter?
It is.
Or is it Euclid?
It
It
is
is
a
Keter?
Keter. Yep.
Yeah, it's,
SCP-035 is a white porcelain comedy/tragedy mask. Subjects close to SCP-035 or in visual contact with it experience a strong urge to put it on. When SCP-035 is placed on the face of an individual, an alternative brainwave pattern from SCP-035 overlaps the original host, effectively snuffing it out and causing the brain death to the subject. Subject then claims to be the consciousness contained within the SCP-035. The bodies of the possessed subjects decay at a highly accelerated rate, eventually becoming little more than mummified corpses.
And if I remember right, they like talk about what the subjects talk about when they're under the influence,
Yeah.
right?
But SCP-035 has also been proven to be highly sadistic, prompting someone to commit suicide and transforming others into near mindless servants. Okay, so Trump had one, right? So, with
I love how we just related to Trump's twice this episode.
persuasion alone, SCP-035 has stated that it has intimate knowledge of the workings of the human mind and implements that it could change anyone's views if given enough time.
Hitler.
what?
There's so I guess
He's saying Hitler.
Well, the way you defined it sounded a lot like Hitler.
Honestly, it could like. What would happen?
Like a lot like Hitler.
Hitler should have just stayed as a painter. All right, he was just a painter. He should have
Okay,
just
let's not
stayed
get
painting.
let's not get
Let's
into
not
that
get
one.
into that
Should have
shit.
just stayed painting. He shouldn't have put on the mask. Should have
Oh
just
my
stayed painting.
god.
He put on 035 and then all hell broke loose.
Oh my god.
No,
Do you want to keep developing on that, or
no, I'm completely done with that. Hitler was an absolute piece of shit. And I like doing.
not Hitler? Your fucking mask, you idiot!
Yeah.
Fucking Christ!
I felt that we were brought into the, and now you're making me. You're trying to make me look like a neo-Nazi on camera.
What?
We're talking about SCPs. Okay.
Oh my god.
Who else wants to talk about their SCP? Because otherwise, I don't mind
I
going.
have two,
Mine's
but
the
one's
longest
creepy
one.
and one's evil.
That's
Like
fine.
fucking
all right.
gross
We're,
kinda
we're
evil.
we're gonna get to everybody. So who
I'll go
wants-
with mine then.
All right.
Mine has to
So-
go after Nero's.
All right. Mine is SCP 1762.
Good year.
Otherwise known as Where the Dragons Went.
I love that one.
One.
Yeah. The object class was safe. It is now neutralized.
I hate it.
It's such a sad story.
It's so sad.
Okay. So
Sedge.
the special contain. I'm just gonna read this off verbatim
need to drink.
off the fucking website. Not verbatim, but like summarized. SCP 762-1 is held in standard containment unit at site redacted. During periods where when 762 releases 762-2, video logs are to be recorded for future research. Although instances of 762-2 have been deemed harmless, they should not be allowed to exit their containment unit. All right. Now moving on to the description, and this is one of the sadder stories of.
You're a bitch.
SCP.
Yeah.
This is one of the sadder stories of you a bitch.
No, okay, Mako. If you ever meet somebody else who like really likes the SCP universe,
I'll beat
ask
you up.
him the question.
Like I was-
ask them the question. Do you know where the dragons went?
Fuck
And they
you.
will fucking hate you.
I thought he was just going to the slight pause. If you ever meet anyone else, and was like, "Well, thanks, Rusty. Thanks for like." My instant thought was like, "Well, thanks. I am a shut in. I don't like to meet people because people are mean to me when I'm just trying to say hi. Nothing.
People are mean to me because I look like Waluigi.
See."
Shut up and go. Psh.
Like
Yeah,
last
but
week when
like-
I tried to say hi to someone, they just
Oh no! Don't no! Keep going.
Okay.
No,
Well,
keep going.
moving on to the description of SCP-762. SCP-762 is a plain cardboard box that comes in that is 32 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 26 centimeters. It is spray painted silver on the interior and exterior, and the words "Here be dragons" are handwritten in black permanent marker on the lid of the container. Opening the lid of 762-1 when it is not in the process of releasing of a release that reveals it to be empty. 762-1 will infrequently open and initiate release of 762-2. During this time, the box will briefly emit a large amount of black smoke that quickly dissipates. It takes an average of 20 seconds for SCP-762-2 to emerge after the smoke clears. 762 is the collective term applied to beings that emerge from 762-1. All instances of 762-2 bear resemblance to various types of dragons in both Eastern and Western depictions, albeit in forms similar to origami models. Analysis of 762-2 revealed that they were composed of kami paper after exiting 762-1. Instances of 762-2 will fly together in large and interact playfully with nearby personnel and each other.
right. Before I move on, anybody want to add anything?
Yeah,
I'll
so,
beat your
so,
ass.
so basically, it's just a disappearing and reappearing Danny DeVito in a box.
No.
No, it's a disappearing dragon paper origami thing.
Yeah.
It's basically a flock of really origami
Origami.
dragons
I
that take
get what
care
it
of you.
is. I was just wanting to make a Danny DeVito joke in a box.
I
'cause
know
he's
what
Why
I
the
heard.
fuck you wanted to make a Danny DeVito?
I wanted you to
actually-
picture Danny DeVito disappearing and reappearing in a box.
Actually, give me a minute.
It wouldn't
I have
fit
to go pee. I will be right
Because
back.
of his magnum dong.
All right, I'll just wait. I'll just continue.
Before
going.
Rustic, before. Oh wait, actually, no. Don't continue. I want to fucking hear it. I don't know
Okay.
that one. So,
Oh, you don't know?
It's so
bullshit.
sad.
We're going
for
to
a minute.
take. Okay, so he's going to go take a peek. Okay.
Okay, well then let's
Anyone
talk.
else picturing Danny DeVito?
No.
Yes, after you said it, I hate you.
Like I want for some reason.
I already hate this fucker for bringing this up.
That's why I'm trying to make it lighthearted for you. Instead of the dragons.
I'm just
make it-
imagining the dragons and he's flying on one with his dong hanging out.
it says
Don't
Danny
worry,
DeVito.
you'll start crying soon enough.
He's on the back like, woo!
Yeah, we're not even at the sad part yet.
Not even
We're-
at the sad part.
We're
yet.
just in the
Great.
description of it. Then there's addendum logs, addendum
I
logs.
would,
which
yeah,
I'll
and don't.
get
I would.
into.
How long is our recording so far?
Our
I don't know.
recording so far is about 41 minutes into this episode.
We should not take a long time
Well, no, okay.
describing
Hey,
it.
we still got 1, 2, 3,
Phase.
three more stories
Phase.
to go.
Yep.
Phase, what I'm gonna do for the addendums, I'm just gonna because I'm just gonna say the first one, and then I'm just gonna read off all the notes that come after it.
Yeah.
And we
Because-
still got,
Oh, we
Because
could
that is
also
an important
record.
part.
We could record the full thing and cut it into 2 weeks if we miss a week, because I'm not going to be here next week. Or no, is it next weekend?
I got
This weekend
I
I'm
mean,
here. Then I'm gone. No, I'll be gone in 2 weeks from now.
Oh, you'll be gone in 2
That's
weeks
right.
from now. Okay, so you can
Not
record
next week. 2 weeks from now.
So you can start our cryptid episode if we decide on a cryptid.
Sure.
No one heard that one.
Whatever.
I'm confused.
all right, I'm back.
Do you guys like cryptids? Don't you guys like cryptids?
Which one's cryptids again? Why am I blanking?
Mako, we're talking about SCPs. The fuck you mean? Does any of you guys like cryptids? They're basically the same fucking
They
thing.
basically are, but I want to take a deep dive on one major cryptid.
Then we'll do that. We'll do that. some other time.
Mothman.
All right, shut up about
Right, go
Mothman.
on.
I am a follower god of Mothman. He is a god.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Stop. Okay.
okay.
We're done pissing. Welcome back.
No.
jump
I'm keeping that entire bit in. The entire
All
thing.
right.
Oh man.
Let-
They can hear my idea of Danny DeVito with his dick hanging out writing on one of these paper origami dragons.
No. All right. I'm gonna continue the story.
Go ahead.
Do it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
SCP 1762 or -2 vary in length from 9 to 30 centimeters. All are capable of sustained flight once they exit 70. Fucking the box. I didn't want to say
Wait,
that.
once they exit fucking the box?
No.
Once they
Once they
fucking-
exit the box. Once they exit
Once
762.
they exit fucking.
1762-1.
Just fucking Danny DeVito now at this point.
God damn it! I hate you.
Fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Let me read this. Let me make
Keep
you cry,
going.
bitch.
Go.
Okay.
You cry. You only cry if you play the game.
And have been recorded at attaining speeds of 15 kilometers per hour. The number of SCP-762-2 varies with each opening of 1762-1, with numbers ranging from 50 to over 400. After
Oh my
approximately
god. Can you imagine
Yeah.
the box just goes 400 dragons.
I picture that meme of when they open the door and all the ducks come running out. Or is that chickens?
Yeah, no, that's basically it.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Okay. After approximately 2 to 3 hours of time spent outside of 1762-1, all instances of 1762-2 return and fly back into 1762-1. During this time, 1762-1 will once again begin emitting smoke, and instances of 1762-2 will vanish as after passing the rim of 1762-1. SCP 1762-1 closes once all 1762-2 have returned to it. The next date of release is inconsistent. A message written or carved into a variety of materials will sometimes materialize on top of 1762-2's lid once the box has retrieved all instances of 1762-2. Attempts to send a message or recording device back with 1762-2 have provided negative results. These documents and their appropriate dates of appearance are being compiled and recorded. All right. Now we're getting into the real sad part about the story.
I hate you in advance.
I know.
Danny DeVito's not actually there.
I need to drink more.
Okay, the first recorded instance this is the first recorded instance, which is a note left behind. You have found us. Thank you. It has been so long since we last saw each other, friends. The peace has been upheld. The giants and behemoths have kept their word and have not caused any trouble since you last came and gave the order. We missed your company. How has your family been? Do you still know how to work your room? You are welcome to visit any time. The next note is, it's strange to see how much your world has changed. It's even stranger to see how we have appeared in this place. In fantasy, we are much bigger. Or maybe you have grown taller? Fantasy is still the same. We hope you can visit us like you used to. Though our room is as grand as ever, yours appears to have shrunken. We do not understand. The rooms were supposed to be maintained, as was our agreement. Please restore the belief. The next note, only 20 instances of 1762-2 appeared. And they did not lift off and instead walked slowly on the ground. Friends, we apologize for a few numbers. We have tried to remain in fantasy for quite some time. The others are growing impatient. We are trying to keep the peace, but please, for all our happiness, repair the room quickly. We know you are trying. Your family is the most imaginative of us all. The next one is the next note. It comes with 10 instances of 1762, 3 balls of yellow crumpled construction paper, and they were shaking violently for 5 seconds. The giants were foolish. Your room was not ready to accept them yet. We are sorry, friends. We hope we can still see you, but time is growing short for our happiness. The next note comes along with 5 instances of 1762-2. Tensions are rising. Fantasy is becoming darker. We the serpents and the hybrids are furiously trying to hold them back, but the giants and elves wish to strike and make an entrance. They say your family has grown stupid and ignorant. We hope this is untrue. It would sadden us all greatly to know you have forgotten. The next one is a single red instance of 1762-2. Its wings were torn and noticeably crumpled. After a minute, it did not move again, and upon expiration, the body rapidly unfolded and revealed a message written on the white side of the paper. War. Goodbye, friends. After 2 hours, the box of 1762-1 opened and emitted flames reaching 2 meters in height and temperatures of 17,000 degrees Celsius. Distant roars were heard, and a large amount of torn paper pieces and paper balls were ejected from 1762-1. The several damaged 1762-2 were also expelled and deemed deceased upon an examination. The box 1762-1 would continue to sporadically open and close for the next 6 weeks. 1762 remain. After which 1762-1 remained closed and inactive for the next 7 months. All right. The next note is: Are you still there? Are you still out there, friends? We miss you dearly. Fantasy is no longer safe. Our haven, your beautiful creation, is gone. The giants are dead. The centaurs are dead. The birds have fled. We are going to bury your room. We cannot risk hurting you. This is our goodbye. Maybe one day your family can build another room. This may be a hollow hope, but we cherish this thought. After 1762-1 began shaking and emitting smoke for the next 15 minutes, after which it began to sag and collapse. Several portions began to char and tear and burn. The final message is, Master says that we won't see you again. We are sad. So are the remaining others. We once filled each other's heads with dreams and goals. It is sad that we cannot share them any longer. Master says we have to go. He says that he will make us a new fantasy. He says that you cannot be a part of it. We are sad. We love you. We will not forget. We are scared. Will you forget us? And that is the end of 1762.
Okay, so it is like if Dragon Tales got really fucking sad at the last episode.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it was all just a dream for those two kids. And the dragons.
You know how, like, Puff the Magic Dragon, a lot of it has to do with the belief in him. Basically, as the belief went away, so did they.
Yep.
And it's sad, and I hate you. Those held a special special place in my heart growing up. God damn it.
So far, this is the saddest episode that we've ever recorded. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
You are welcome.
I can bring up real life shit.
SCP.
Okay, I want to talk about because I have two of them I want to talk about. The first one is
You have 25 minutes.
And I'll go last.
actually
We can just record it into two videos.
I'll just skip the first one. The second one I want to talk about is SCP 682, which is called the Hard to Kill Lizard. So it is classified as a Kether, or a Kether if you're rustic.
Yeah.
Or Keter.
I've always heard it called Keter class.
Skeeter.
So I'm just.
But yeah. So pretty much what it is it looks like a giant crocodile looking
It's cool.
reptile with like human hair growing on it, some part, and it is I think it's like classified to like be something like 100 couple years old, and it regenerates crazy fast. Is like the main thing, and it hates every living life forms. It just hates everything that lives. So the measure of containment is they're in they are to be contained in it's like a 100 by 100 by 90 feet
Containment
cell made of lead and like acid resistant walls and floor, because they have to pour enough hydrochloric acid in the cell to cover half the body of the SCPs, because otherwise it just regenerates. And even then, it still broke containment about 6 times, and every time it killed hundreds of people. Every interviews, it is highly intelligent and can speak multiple language. But every interview they try to do with it would just result in it being completely silent. Until they used another SCP that I forgot the number of it. That's like kind of like a human conscience into a computer.
So we would pull a Rustic until you call out Rustic for it.
Wow. Just because I hate everybody doesn't mean I hate fucking
Everybody?
Doesn't mean I,
No.
Doesn't mean I hate everybody.
No, that SCP hates everything living.
Yeah, there's still living stuff that I like. I just hate people.
You hate me.
No, they hate they hate everything that is living. So and
Feel free to hate me.
it is absolutely illegal to talk to the SCP 682 because its view would corrupt people.
What if so? How would it? Okay, what would happen if you put a corrupt person in front of this? It's already corrupted.
You'd get get U.S. politics.
That's a joke I was wanting you to make.
I hate this fucking group.
Bloody mess.
Yeah, it is absolutely forbidden to talk to it, exactly because it is too dangerous. So okay, its main thing is it regenerates really fucking quick, and it's just bathing in a bath of fucking hydrochloric acid, and it still somehow found ways to just escape containment 6 times,
which is terrifying.
Yeah.
And
It's like hundreds of years old, right?
Yeah, and after the first time it went away, it killed a bunch of like farmers, and they had an interview with it when they were talking to a microphone. They're like, "So why did you kill the farmers?" And it was just grumbling, not like inaudibly. So they said, "Why did you kill them?" And it was just mumbling. So they're just like, the microphone is a certain range. Just like put the microphone like closer to it. And after getting close enough, they said, "Why did you kill them?" And it says, "They were disgusting." And that's all it said. And after that, it said, "What do you mean by that?" And it just went completely silent.
Okay.
But it is known that it had some high IQ conversation with the other SCP that I absolutely completely forgot the name of. I think it's SCP 919 something.
Yeah, it's the robot or the computer.
Well,
Yeah, it's an intelligent computer AI, and it's like smarter than anybody in the world. And like they were having like a really in-depth conversation between the two of them. The like very short times they met, because they were like doing like controlled.
Well, now here's my theory, and this is just a theory. This is not a game theory, but this.
All right, Matt.
Eventually, Nero's gonna kill us.
I know, but what if? And like I said, this is just a theory. What if it's not every living being that it hates, but corrupt beings that it hates?
No, it hates everything living. It hates everything that is living.
It basically has told us like it hates everything that lives.
It said if it could, it would just annihilate every living things in the world.
That's still metal as hell.
And it would not only would it hell. Okay, wait, no. Actually, I forgot one of the part where it says it can ingest anything and just regenerate off of anything it ingests. So even if it ingests acid from its bath, that's why there's like acid continuously pouring, because it just ingests it and just regenerate off of it.
Dude, that's lit as fuck!
Yeah, it can ingest anything and regenerate off of it. It just regenerate.
Just imagine it's like you could fucking just deep dive into a pit of hydrochloric acid and you're just like energy and it's.
Suddenly, Super Saiyan.
It's still eating at it. It's like 80% corroded by the acid, but it's enough that it can just keep eating it and just keep regenerating, so it's not dying. Because like even 80% corroded is still highly intelligent, can just still speak to human beings, which is why it's fucking terrifying.
You know, the orangutan actually has.
Also, it is fucking huge.
Nero, didn't they sick fucking 096 on it, and 096 fucking ended up crying in the goddamn corner?
I don't remember what 096 is.
Well,
Shy Guy.
I don't remember.
I remember
they released.
Like that.
I know they dropped a bomb on it. Like they dropped a freaking ton of TNT on it, and it just wasn't enough to kill it.
I mean, you said it could also talk. You said you could also talk, but did you know that an orangutan has the throat structure to speak? It just doesn't have the brain power for it.
What the fuck does this have to do with orangutans?
That thing can speak every known language and is even 80% corroded. Still has the brain power to fucking speak it.
That was just my moment, Rusty. Of did you know that Alcatraz means pelican?
One.
What?
All right, Nero, continue.
But yeah, so that's pretty much the only thing we know about that SCP is that it's contained right now, but we don't know when it's going to be.
How can you contain it though?
Again,
if it's that powerful.
I mean,
You don't.
it's been contained for over 100 years, and it's broke containment 6 times. So, and every time they have to drop a fucking it's like what? It's like a megaton bomb on them. It's like hydrochloric.
Basically a nuke.
Yeah, a fucking
ICBM?
hydrogen. They have to drop a nitrogen bomb on it every time to just like recapture it.
So was it in Hiroshima? And that was just the excuse.
No, hydrogen bomb are not quite as powerful as nuclear bomb, but they're pretty goddamn fucking powerful.
I'm connecting conspiracies.
No.
Yeah.
What?
And the other SCPs, I will go over it really quick. It's
What?
oh shit, it's called it's SCP 936, I think, or 939, one of the two.
Which one is
And
it?
it's a highly it's a creature that's made pretty much entirely out of blood. It has no organs, no bones,
remember
no
that one.
anything. And it's a pack hunter thing, and it can see perfectly in the dark because it has no eyes. It just goes by sound. And its preferred method of hunting is that it imitates voices it hears.
Oh, fuck that one.
And just pretty
It's in the game as well, and it's a pain in the ass to get past.
it pretty much just like traps you. It just pretty much like fucking baits you to come in close to it and just ambushes you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and every time it heats past its weight, it just sheds another of its own.
Yeah,
That's how it reproduces.
it's creepy. I'll love it.
That one
You
is
said you
kinda
had to wait till
terrifying.
Nero was done with his to say yours, so you now.
Yeah, what's yours, Lynx?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
So excited he was.
I want to talk about SCP-053, the young girl.
Oh no. Okay.
So, SCP-053 is a seemingly normal young girl who,
Seemingly.
when you are exposed to her for too long, you start developing homicidal thoughts.
Oh.
Where you want to
Is
kill
it Keter or is
basically-
it Euclid?
Rustic. Did you ever?
Yeah.
Euclid.
Did you ever?
It
meet
is
her?
Euclid. I couldn't remember.
Because she is just a normal girl.
kidding.
As long as you're not exposed to her,
Okay, here.
you're fine.
I said, did you meet her?
Yeah, I've met her multiple times.
Multiple times. Slept with her.
No.
That's why I'm like
Bitch!
One exposure
No,
to
nah, we
to
know
the
that's
young
a
girl.
lie.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So long-term exposure to this girl makes you develop homicidal thoughts. You will attempt to murder everyone in the room, and then try to kill the girl. But once you try to kill the girl, you suffer from a heart attack and die.
So you basically become her meat puppet. Let me kill the rest of everybody else.
Never
like meat
refer to
puppet.
somebody
I
as a
don't
meat
meat
puppet.
puppet. I don't want to think of the word meat puppet.
Why not?
The girl
What's wrong?
herself,
Nope.
the girl herself is completely unaware of these effects. By the way, she has no idea any of this is happening to her, and those
Shit.
around her.
Well, obviously, no. You cannot sit there and tell me that she has no idea that anything's happening when, hey, I'm gonna walk into this room full of people. All of a sudden, everyone around's me dead. The fuck?
Okay,
You cannot
So,
sit there
let
and
me
tell me
explain
that she has
how-
no idea what the fuck's going on.
let me explain how they found out about her then. So, up until she was like 3 years old when they found her. Up until that point, she was just a completely normal girl until she suffered an accident on a schoolyard or playground or something. She like lands and hits her head or something. Her parents panic, brings her to a hospital. Amazingly, she recovers just fine. There are no injuries. She is basically the same as she was before. When they bring her home, the parents start noticing very strange things. They can't stand to look at her anymore. Touching her gives them the feeling of great disgust.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like my parents
So
when they
over
see
a-
me.
So over a period of time, these symptoms get so much worse. They have a collection of emails the father has been sending to their grandparents ever since she was born. And over time, after this accident, you can just see he is losing it. He cannot stand being in the same house as her. Let me bring up the last email, because that's some fucked up shit. So, the last email is, I touched her hand. It felt so wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Madeline said she felt it too, but she insists it was inside of her. I'm going to kill them both. I'm going to kill that cunt, and I'm going to kill that thing. It needs to die.
Oh.
Except it couldn't, because heart attack. Right?
So
you just said-
the parents were found. So SCP agents went to the house after finding out some of this. I don't remember how they found out. I'm not gonna look too much into that. Something about local authorities.
I mean, SCPs are
But-
everywhere.
So yeah.
Yeah, they find the wife has multiple stab wounds, and the father has just collapse of a heart attack. The girl is fine. The SCP agents decide to take her from her home because they know that these effects are happening. So they have a very simple containment procedure for her. They just give her a nice room, toys, stuff to play with, draw, all that stuff. People are not allowed to have any more than 10 minutes of exposure to her, because they'll develop all of those things and want to literally murder everything.
Yeah, she's Euclid.
SCP die. Yeah. Anyways, the thing I wanted mostly to talk about her is they like to throw a lot of things at SCP-682 to see how he can be contained or terminated.
Oh my god.
For some fucking reason, they decide to expose 682 to 053. And for some reason, everything went fine. He does not attempt to murder this child at all. He actually just, when put in the same room, 682 just kind of laid down. And 053, the girl is absolutely fucking terrified, because there's just this giant fucking monster in her fucking room now. And after a while, she gets brave enough to actually approach, and she just starts petting him.
No, I have friends.
Nothing bad happens. Yeah.
Friend.
After it,
Because their aim,
Still feel
was
bad
the
because
same.
that's a sad existence.
Kills
being,
people.
now.
Let's
being-
have some tacos later.
You can't have. That's just. That's just
We have friends now. I go back to your cells.
Yeah, like
yeah.
sad,
So,
sad
after
existence
seeing
where
this,
you're
they
not allowed
attempt to
to
remove
touch with
682 from the room, and obviously that goes fucking horrible. The people who try to pull 682 fucking die. Almost have another containment breach.
There's another SCP I want to talk about really quick. I don't remember the number of it, but it's pretty much you enter a room, and there's a 2 foot by 2 foot square, like in the bottom corner of a wall, and there's a door there, and if you enter that door, it's a random. There's a room on the other side. It's a random. It can be like the nicest room ever or the worst room ever. It could be a fucking torture chamber. You're gonna get fucking tortured for 10 years. And then finally you can escape it. But apparently, for some reason, once you escape it, for some reason your brain goes, I want to go back in. So no matter what the fuck
I
it is,
like
if
that shit.
you can just walk in.
There's
you can
plenty
just
of places where
you can walk in and then you walk in, and in there you meet, I don't know, you meet like your dead parents. You're like, oh my god, it's nice to see you again. And then you escape, you like leave the room, and you're like, I want to go back. And then you just enter it. It's a fucking torture chamber. You get tortured for 10 years, and then you escape, and you're like, Maybe it won't be that bad again. This time it's fucking turn around, just go right back in. You won't know what it's gonna be. It's always random.
And then I do have 2 or 1, depending on what time we have. By the way, at the end.
Yeah, just take your time. Just take your time, do it. Yeah. But like, real quick, like, there's places around the world that are like some serious fucking places. Like, for example, Bobby Mackey's Music World in Wilder, Kentucky. This is It's got a basement, and in this basement is a well that was once used to, it was once used as a slaughterhouse, and that's where the blood drained out, but it was also used for the decapitation of someone else's lover, just in the name of Satan. So the place is significantly haunted.
The Ring?
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely mad in there. Like, it's, like, there's... Like, I know you guys have heard of them, Ghost Adventures. That was their first episode, or like they've done 2 other investigations after that. But like Zach Bagans says to this day that he still wants to go back there, even though that's where whatever is in there has followed him home and has made several relationships end because of that place.
Nice.
Because
Creepy.
whatever's in there can follow you home, and it's that same ordeal. Like, he still wants to go back. He
But that thing is like, it can bring you to the fucking brink of death, where you're just like fucking crawling out of it. It's like, once you're out, you're like, I just want to go back. You're gonna crawl right back in.
I'm so into this shit now.
Like, you're like they're torturing you, and then you realize when you come out and you're like, I finally escaped. No one gives you any bit of attention. The world sucks. Like, I want to go back in.
At least they cared about me.
They cared enough about me. All right, Faze, what you got?
I have 2. I have one that's evil and just fucking gross, and then I have another one that's fucking creepy and will make you not sleep.
Well, make the creepy one be the last one to send everybody home with.
Is it one of them that's the flesh that eats?
The what?
The flesh that eats?
No.
Hates. Flesh that hates.
No.
Oh. Okay,
You're not gonna like
not,
these ones, most likely.
Rustic, you want to talk about it?
Well, let's hear it.
Hey.
Let's talk about it next time. We talk about SCPs.
Okay. SCP-3063. It is a simple housefly.
Mm-hmm.
It is a Keter housefly. Special containment procedures. Newly discovered SCP-3063 manifestations are to be reported immediately and destroyed as soon as possible by whatever means are appropriate. All Foundation buildings and all the residents of all Foundation personnel are to be equipped with the most effective insect control measures available. And at no point should personnel ever interact with or acknowledge SCP-3063 manifestations outside of immediately destroying said manifestation. So, in other words, if you see it, you have to kill it. Don't talk to it. Don't think about it. Don't nothing.
Roger.
Any Foundation personnel or civilian individuals known or suspected to have made an agreement with SCPs 3063 are to be immediately contained in the nearest Foundation facility equipped with appropriate containment facilities until the event of said individual's death. Once the affected individual has died, their remains are to be incinerated along with any organisms that may have emerged from them during their containment. That'll make more sense soon. Individuals affected by SCP-3063 do not require food or any other external attention, and under no circumstances are they to be removed from containment while alive. If affected individuals are unable to be contained for any reason, every effort should be made by the Foundation operatives to kill said individuals before the event of their natural death. If this is impossible, or if effective individuals are not discovered until their deaths, Mobile Task Force Beta 5 is to enact Procedure 18 ISLIP. Or ESLIP. Okay, the description of said thing, because they have to go through a lot of shit if it appears. SCP-3063 is a telepathic Class 5, which is the worst, reality-bending entity. SCP-3063 invariably manifests as a physiologically non-anomalous adult male housefly. In other words, it's a housefly. Perfectly. Well, if it's this thing, don't talk to it. It is currently believed that only one manifestation of SCP-3063 exists at any given time. In other words, only one can live. But this is yet to be confirmed. Manifestations are to be considered destroyed when they have sustained damage that would be efficient to kill a housefly. So in other words, there's hard to kill as a normal housefly. After which SCP-3063 will manifest somewhere on the Earth. So as soon as you kill it, somewhere else on the Earth, it just appears again. And is an entirely new housefly or inhabits the body of an existing housefly.
Yo, I probably killed it like 100 times over. At my work.
Probably.
At my work, low key, for a while, there was like a flooring tile. It was like, it was there, but there was like apparently like a void under it.
Okay.
And apparently, I don't know how, but a fucking fly just like got under that and just like laid eggs. So like for days, there was just like fucking flies just flying out of it, and it was like I was just like catching them and just like putting them in like a 1 ounce cup, and it's like I would like get 10 or like 11 of them at once in a fucking like 1 ounce cup, just somewhere on the freaking counter. It's like that's my jail cell.
Speaking of eggs, that's where this goes. All of SCP-3063 manifestations operate with a single goal, namely, making an agreement with an individual. The terms of such agreement vary greatly, but almost always involve SCP-3063 promising an individual any single thing they greatly desire in exchange for an unspecified price. Such offers have included large sums of money, the love of another individual, political power, and/or even bending reality. It is hypothesized that SCP-3063 can read the thoughts of its target to tailor an offer that's specific to them. SCP-3063 refuses to discuss anything other than the agreement.
Yo, if that fly lands on me, this entire world's gonna turn into a fucking anime.
If an individual accepts the term of agreement, the SCP-3063 manifestation will immediately combust and die. At which point, the individual will receive exactly what they are promised. If an individual does not accept, SCP-3063 will continue to attempt to tempt them with larger and larger and larger offers until the individual either accepts or they kill the manifestation. If an SCP-3063 manifestation is destroyed, successive manifestations will continue to contact the individual until they consent. So in other words, once they talk to you once, they're going to keep coming back every single time you kill them until you accept.
Well, never mind. I never killed him.
After a period of 2,376 days, specifically, from the moment an agreement with SCP-3063 is made, affected individuals will undergo a process as detailed below. This is where it gets fucking gross, because it's a botfly in disguise. Fertilized eggs, representing virtually all known species of the order Diptera, which is flies, so in other words, any type of species, will spontaneously appear within the lungs, throat, stomach, intestines, sinuses, ear canals, rectum, urethra, muscle tissues of the infected individuals. The number of eggs typically range from 5,000 to 20,000. The eggs will hatch naturally, and the resulting maggots will begin consuming tissues of the infected or the affected individual for 3 to 14 days in order to escape the body. When this period has elapsed, the maggots will pupate and lie dormant. Within 2 to 6 days, pupa or pupae will emerge as adult flies. Newly emerged flies will continue consuming their host and breeding with each other until the host has sustained sufficient damage and dies. This typically takes between 1 and 5 weeks. So you're dying 1 and 5 weeks, slowly being eaten from the inside out, and has been known to produce upwards of 50 million flies out of your body. When the affected individual dies, the remaining flies will cease reproducing and enter a stage of dormancy, during which they will eventually starve and die. A new manifestation of SCP-3063 will appear shortly after death and of the affected individual and continue their hunt. Affected individuals remain conscious for the entire process, resulting in great distress. Roughly 70% of affected individuals will attempt suicide during this process. Flies generated during this process have been determined to be entirely normal flies. If the affected individual is during any point of this process of the breeding, the process will stop and all the flies will just die. No method of averting this process other than the death of the individual has been discovered. To date, 6 Foundation personnel have been contacted by SCP-3063 and attempts have been made to alter the terms of agreement to entrap SCP-3063 into neutralizing itself, though none have met with success. Below is the test log. So basically, they would ask the doctor a question. The doctor would respond to the question, trying to kill it, such as the question was, I want the death of SCP-3063. Well, then the SCP blows itself up like it normally does, and they would get the eggs, and they would reappear. And then the permanent containment of SCP, it explodes, ceases moving, and stays inside of a little cell. And then, as soon as it explodes, a new manifestation, which is technically a new SCP, appears. So no matter what they asked, basically it would keep popping up. And that is the story of how you're eaten inside out by 50 million botflies.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Ooh, kinky.
Can you imagine just one person just stuffing like 80 years, just every day getting pestered by that one same fly? I'd be like, no.
Spraying
nah.
it. No.
and then at some point, and then at some point, the fucking fly goes, alright, bro, we've been at it for like 80 years. How about we just die together? Like, nah, just fucking die by yourself, motherfucker. If the only
Yep.
Imagine how the only way to just like kill the fucking SCP is just like you just say no until you die of like natural causes.
By the way, I will say this next one. If you ever hear wheezing again, you'll never sleep.
Oh no.
Wait, so we can't be around Mako?
No, if you're ever laying in a room and hear any kind of wheezing, whether it be your friends or anything, you're going to immediately panic. Or at least that's how I feel. A lot of people, if you're paranoid at all, don't listen.
Do it. Do it now.
This is SCP 303.
I'll be
Euclid.
honest.
It doesn't kill anything.
I'm a whole lot more paranoid about farts than I am about wheezing, so.
What the fuck? Fair enough. Okay.
It's because you drank yesterday.
SCP-303 has not been known to travel beyond the boundaries of the site, and the site is unnamed. It's currently considered SCP-303's containment area, and all rooms inside the site are to be altered, where it's possible to have 2 separate entrances separated by 10 meters or line of sight. Personnel are to be distributed evenly throughout the facility, while available radio or intercom contacts so that encounters may be resolved quickly. Personnel who witness SCP-303 are to be submitted for immediate psychiatric evaluation. All SCP objects housed at Site blank, since before 6.4.10, are to be transferred to Site B, one at a time. Each SCP object will be transferred again to Site A once it can be verified that SCP-303 has not migrated from Site with it. So in other words, it sneaks in other things. SCP-303 either migrates to Site B or remains present at Site A once all SCPs in question have been transferred to Site A. Containment procedures will be updated as appropriate. Description. And this is fucking creepy to me. Witnesses describe SCP-303 as a nude, sexless, emaciated humanoid figure with reddish-brown skin. Instead of normal facial features, its head is dominated by an extremely large mouth, which bears a set of oversized human teeth. So it's only a mouth for its entire head, and it's fucking gross. There's pictures of it. It continually vocalizes a wheezing noise. A basic human wheezing noise.
Wait. That's a fucking phasmophobia ghost.
Yeah.
Imagine that with
It's a little
giant
girl.
fucking gross teeth.
Fucking little girl with like a fucking face full of teeth.
Has not
Exactly,
so. It makes a wheezing sound, loud enough to be heard from the other side of all solid doors. All individuals who have encountered with SCP-303 are capable of describing it in full, including individuals who have not physically seen any part of it. They can still describe it because they know it's there. Basically, SCP-303 will periodically materialize behind any closed door, hatch, or other entryway barrier opposite of a person, chosen by unknown means.
I feel like Rustic doesn't like me making atmosphere.
Huh?
I feel like Rustic doesn't like it when I make atmosphere.
Yeah.
SCP-303 will remain...
Do you call it making an atmosphere whenever you go, pig?
Will then
not
remain
making an
behind
atmosphere.
the door for an indeterminate amount of time. Any individual attempting to open the door barrier experiences intense paralyzing fear that lasts until SCP-303 dematerializes, either on its own or to avoid being directly seen by another person. The source of this fear is not clear, but appears to be similar in nature to arachnophobia and ophidiophobia, originating on a preconscious genetic level. Analysis indicates that SCP-303, in fact, is not, in fact, purposefully inducing fear in the infected individual. So, in other words, it doesn't know it's scaring you. SCP-303 does not allow itself to come into direct visual contact with anybody, and has never followed or allowed any one individual to view more than 10% of its form. When the door or other entryway barrier is partially or completely transparent, SCP-303 will materialize in an orientation that leaves 10% or less of its body visible, or cause effects of fog or frost on the transparent surface to achieve the same effect. If SCP-303 is approached from a direction in which it does not have a solid object or door-breaking line of sight, it dematerializes immediately. Any electronic or complex mechanical devices that SCP-303 encounters are temporarily disabled. So in other words, all electronic, it's basically an EMP. Has made no recorded attempt to physically or verbally engage any individual. How it arrived at the site was its first recorded appearance was on 3/1/10. It is suspected that 303 was inadvertently transferred along with a manifestation by another SCP. In other words, it snuck along with it because they don't know how it travels. It just appears.
Yeah.
Here's the incident logs, and this is the part that gets fucking creepy because somebody decided they were gonna make it. And the picture is fucking terrifying. Agent Blank, they took her name out, was showering in her private quarters bathroom when she became aware of the presence of SCP-303 on the other side of the shower curtain. It was wheezing extremely loudly. Startled by the discovery, she suddenly struck the shower curtain, causing it to sway outwards. The curtain partially wrapped around SCP-303, revealing that it was less than 0.5 meters from the curtain, standing and facing the shower. The agent reports spending approximately the next 3 hours sobbing in the shower quietly to not disturb SCP-303. She reported that the wheezing stopped very suddenly, at which time she was able to stand up and exit the shower again. Somebody made this fucking creature and stood it outside a shower curtain, and it is the fucking scariest picture because now I can't take a shower again.
Wait, can you imagine if if it's there and you can't see it, and you just hear the, and then you just like turn to a fucking glass door, and all of a sudden you just see a hand just go.
Basically, it's literally nothing but just a giant mouth, and it has its mouth always like partially open. And it's just wheezing. The other
Wait. Have you ever seen the fucking movie
I really
Cabin
do
in
need
the
my
Woods?
inhaler. My God.
Have you ever seen the movie Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
You have the sugar dust fairy that's like
yeah, imagine that, but with giant like buck teeth.
yeah.
All right, wrap up. We're an hour and 30 minutes in.
Okay, the last incident was the doctor was discovered dead from dehydration in the second floor storage room. It is estimated that the doctor spent 5 days in the storage room before being discovered. A small 4mm by 4mm decompression chamber separated the storage room from the adjoining hallway. SCP-303 occupied the decompression chamber for the duration of the doctor's isolation in the storage room, disallowing entry from either direction and making it impossible for him to leave. So he just sat there and
5 days
died, and the
died.
people on the other side of the hallway couldn't open the room either because they were terrified, and he was terrified, so they basically just had to watch him die of dehydration.
Damn. That's
You literally cannot open the door.
That's the second instance that the doctor has died, so he just keeps regenerating. So the doctor's TARDIS is somewhere in the middle of the SCP world.
Probably.
It's
It's
what-
called the plague. Yeah, he's called the Plague Doctor.
Dear God.
Well, with that being said, we're going to have to come back to SCPs.
Yeah, we'll come back
Yes,
to this like some
very
other
much
time.
so.
There's infinite amount of them.
Infinite amount of things, which next week I want to take a deep dive on a cryptid that we need to discuss about sometime within the next week. But we want to be taking a deep dive into a cryptid. We're going to be telling some stories that has come from this cryptid. We're going to be telling we're getting into. We're not fully going spoopy because it's not.
Okay.
Fucking
If you-
October,
if-
but
if-
we are
if-
going into the realm.
If you want a
of-
sneak peek of what a cryptid is, it has to do with a bridge.
There you go. Well, like, we're gonna be getting into some deeper stuff, and we're gonna be getting into some kind of terrifying stuff
Ooh.
all year round. Not just serial killers, not just pigs, not just
Wait.
Rusty being a murderer.
Rustic being a murderer.
If today's episode's kind of creepy,
still know
just
it's
you
true.
wait till we get to fucking October.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna get cranked up to
we're
100.
about to crank that
You
shit
can go
up.
back to the spooky set.
Yeah. Just delete everything else over there and just keep the campfire. That way it's not lagging.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. All right. So, with that being said, ladies and beans, thank you all so much for listening. Make sure to give these guys some love where love is due. Twitch.tv/, LynxParadox, Twitch.tv/, RusticII, Twitch.tv/, FazeTheFoxBean, Twitch.tv/, Nerocool, and Twitch.tv/, RemoriDesu. And you can follow me at
Twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv/, MrMacoLive. But, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much again for listening. Until next time, remember to always hail yourselves!
Bye-bye.
I will
See you,
conquer
beautiful.
that booty.
Oh fuck! See you, beautiful bastards.
I heard conga.
I will conquer
The,
that
the conga is going to be the next SCP.
Oh God.
God damn it.
The best part is that
Wait, no,
anyone can
conga-
write an SCP. So if you have an idea, you literally just go to the forum and submit it.
Yeah, for real.
I mean,